If you'd like to sponsor Still Got Game, give us a call at 773-527-2961 or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. Hey now, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still Got Game, episode 504. Still Got Game is the official podcast of tooltoplay.com. I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I am Chris Selden, 007 Selden.
And I'm Brian Shadow Emmerich.
Oh, our host search has yielded a host, and granted, I've known Shadow for years and years and years, but it's good to have some fresh blood on the show. So welcome, Shadow.
Thank you much. I'm glad to be here.
This is good.
Definitely nice to have a third here to bounce things off. So looking forward to it.
You mean just to bail you out, Selden?
Yes, to bail me out.
I don't want to talk
carry the minimal load that I carry.
So this is good. We're gonna have Brian here tonight, and we're gonna see how this goes and see if he likes it and see what happens. So,
well, I'm interviewing you, so you know.
This is interview the interviewer. Yes. So we will. Why don't we just jump right in the show proper, and we'll hop into the mailbag for feedback and questions from last week's show. Remind you, we're still bringing on potentially more hosts. If you think you got what it takes, podcast@tooltoplay.com. Send us your information, and we'll check you out, because we like having up to 5 hosts. So yeah, this is pretty tight. So let us know. And if you're in chat right now and you want us to discuss something, please post it. And if you want to leave us a voicemail, remember it will cut you off after a minute. Burned Weed comments. Really great episode. Selden finally found a D-Smooth style voice. Hopefully he can keep it up.
I don't think I think that was some. I think that was some post editing that Derek did to make me sound oh so sweet.
That was on our live streams. You actually did do that.
I don't know about
that. Granted, it was only your I'm Chris Selden 007 Selden, but at least you got that line. So just try to do that throughout the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can do
I'll do my best. Hey.
Wow. Is that what you think I sound like? All right.
I need more drink.
I guess so. Next up, Centaur313 asks, what series of third-party games would you like to see Microsoft invest into bringing to Game Pass? I read this and I'm still not sure. I've had all day to think about it, and I don't have...
I think they have a good mix. I mean, most of the stuff they bring onto the platform are third party. I mean, it's not all first party that they're bringing on the Game Pass. We would have never got a Tunic if they were only first party. Yeah. So, I'm excited about anything that they drop on there. It's
we know you are.
It's constantly evolving and everything like that. So, I mean, I would like to see a little bit, higher quality games, get away from a little bit of the 8-bit games that they keep dropping every now and then. But
would you really? That's your wheelhouse, your bread and butter.
Those games, don't get me wrong, but I would like to see a higher level of graphics and smoothness to the games over some of the crap that they drop sometimes. So, like Vampire Hunters.
Oh,
okay. Those fighting words. Yeah. Shadow, could you think of anything?
Yeah, I mean, there's a really good mix, and I think that there's a lot of AAA stuff they're bringing, and it's from all over the place. They have the EA, they have some Ubi, I think, in there too, and they got all their internal stuff too. So it's hard to think of any other than maybe a group of. They're really low on really good role-playing games, I think.
Okay.
Maybe Japanese. Something, maybe not necessarily Japanese, but just something different, but not necessarily the 8-bit stuff. Selden doesn't have to be, or doesn't have to be that.
So you sound like maybe the Final Fantasy series?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's really out there. I mean, they have the Sea of Stars is coming out pretty soon, and that's sort of like a Chrono Trigger style, and I don't know, maybe they'll bring that. I'm not sure, but it's a pretty good mix right now. I don't have a lot of problems finding things to play.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I mean,
I agree with you. Like there's absolutely a great blend there. Um, there's nothing that I'm like, "Ugh, if this was, it was a Game Pass game, like sure, granted, like it'd be nice to have the Diablo there. I bought that, I pre-ordered it. Now, granted, we could have that there if everything goes right, like and the Activision Blizzard stuff goes through. But yeah, I can't think of anything outside of like we already got the Bethesda stuff. We've already like there's so much there that this seems almost like a moot point to ask this question. No offense, Centaur 313, but there's plenty of shit there. Like, granted, like we said, there is 25% is just Selden silly stuff, but the rest of us, it was there should be plenty there. I don't know.
Yeah, did he have any, he didn't have any examples? No.
No,
Okay.
he literally
Yeah,
no
no, like-
examples.
to follow up with what Shadow was saying, like the MMORPGs and the RPGs, like we were spoiled back in like the late 90s, early 2000s. They were putting out MMORPGs like freaking crazy, like 5 every month, Now we're lucky if we see 2 or 3 maybe a year. But I just don't know if it's the genre is died or there's just too much development or carry on with that. I mean, it would be great to see some of those hit, the Game Pass and stuff like that we get a chance to play. But you run the risk of something like that getting onto the Game Pass, and then its contract expiring in 3 months or whatever, and then you're left holding the bag where you have to either fully buy the game or wait until it comes back on rotation or something like that. So
Yeah, or it's all monetized possibly if they're doing microtransactions. So really, is it on Game Pass or is it not? I mean, because you're having to pay for a lot of it outside of Game Pass.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing for this. So yeah, I like.
I would
Game
like to see
Pass.
more card games on Game Pass.
You want Uno back? We can all
I want
fire up the
Uno.
cameras.
Yeah, those game show games would be great. Bring back
one versus
or
100.
whatever.
Yeah, everybody
Yeah.
wants that back.
Went going or something, maybe? I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Yarkdoc asks, you mentioned last episode that you'd be having a guest host this week. Does this mean the host search is over? Is this a permanent thing? I am still in the process of putting together an application. So let's break this down and take it piece by piece. Does this mean the host search is over? No, we could use more hosts. Is this a permanent thing? Could be. Maybe Shadow sucks and we're like, oh, sorry, Shadow, we'll see you. Or maybe Shadow doesn't like doing it. Yeah, it could go either way. Yeah, he could be like,
or maybe a significant other says, you know what? No, you're not doing that every fucking Monday night.
So yeah,
That is a very real possibility.
it could go either way here. Both sides you're deciding. But yeah, by all means, finish up your application, send it off, and I'm not sure what you think you have to prepare. Like it can be very little, or it can just be like, I'm interested, and then I can have a call with you, and we'll see. So yeah, Yarkdoc, let us know. You're probably gonna need a different name if you're gonna be on the show, because that's fucking weird and it's hard to say. I'm not sure where the T ends and the D starts. And like, drop the T, Yardoc. That's a little cooler. No offense. And unless this has emotional meaning to you or something in your family, and in that case, I apologize, but not really. Yeah.
By Art Doc.
All right. And last but certainly not least, Altius asks, does the colossal failure of Redfall make you nervous about the quality of Starfield? I realize they are different studios, but they are all part of Bethesda. So how many of us played Redfall?
Oh, I did.
All right. So Shadow avoided this, apparently.
Yeah, just I guess for the best.
Yeah, it was for the best. Yeah, it is the most janky co-op game I have ever played. I played last week with GBMS, and characters sometimes when you spawn into the same area after like a fast travel, like their arms are stuck out to the sides, or their arms are stuck out to the sides and their legs don't move when they walk, and so they just slide around the map, and it's
I mean, I'll tell you, man, that was one of my biggest issues with the game is the movement style that they have in there. It's like you're on ice the whole time. It's like there's no bob, there's no weave. And it's like, I don't know. It was so horribly done.
Yeah, the hitboxes are crazy. It's like you feel like you've got a headshot and it's not, and but that's not really the question here. The question
AI
is,
was so fucking bad.
oh yeah, the AI is terrible. Yes, you can sneak right up behind someone, and now granted, the game does strangely have Alexa integration, so you can connect Alexa to the. I know now my thing's going nuts here. You can connect it to the game, and you can sneak up behind someone and go, whatever. Hey, you turn around, and then they're like, and they turn around. So it's a weird thing.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's like it seems hokey. It's like when they brought ALEXA into Destiny, and then you could use that for some minor weird one-off features. So, but the real question is, let's go back to Altius's question. Does this make us nervous about the quality of Starfield? No.
It was different divisions that were working on these games. Yeah. It's Microsoft already announced that they put extra resources into Starfield as soon as they made the acquisition.
Yeah. And we have a news story later that talks about what happened with this and went bad. So I don't think one of these affects the other. I just don't.
The only thing that I can see happening because of Redfall issues is that we may see another delay from Starfield just to make sure it's that extra polished game that comes out from the Microsoft studios. So that's the only area that I have a little bit of trepidation about. Is it? Yeah.
I don't know about that. I feel like it's been delayed. I think it should be gold by like next month, and then they just polish it. I mean, ugh.
Yeah, it really should be. It's already been delayed like how many times, right?
Twice at least, right?
Yeah, twice. Yeah.
Well, we know a Halo game that was delayed a couple times and still came out a pile of shit.
Well, Redfall was also delayed, so we all know how that worked out.
Yeah. I'm still holding out high hopes that Starfield's going to be a quality game, and that we'll be very, very happy with it. I'm still looking forward to it. I was looking forward to Redfall, and I was severely disappointed in it, unfortunately. So,
yeah, that's too bad. And it's 100 gigs, and that's why I didn't grab it, because I didn't have enough space.
that was the only thing holding you back.
That was kind of it. I was like, oh, I'll wait until maybe I'll clear some space, and then you guys said it was bad, and I thought, well, I won't even bother streaming it then through cloud.
Nope.
All right.
Fair enough. All right. Well, great questions and comments, everyone. If any of you have comments, feedback, questions, give us a call, 773-527-2961, or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. And on that, why don't we hop on over to what we're playing? Sultan, what have you been playing this week?
Well, I have once again been playing my healthy dose of COD DMZ, running through season 3 on that, still getting some of the missions, just having a fun time, hooking up with the same guys every night that I get on there. So it's been a lot of fun. Other than that, still playing a little bit of the Ghostwire Tokyo. Still enjoying that as a single player game, working my way through that. And I did pick up, Dead Island 2 after I stopped playing Redfall. And I've been playing through as a solo right now, trying to level up so that I can join Mr. Smooth and crew on their jaunts for that. That game definitely, I feel, is going to be better once I get into the co-op portion of it. Because single player, it gets a little bit repetitive, but that's still a lot of fun, just meleeing and beating the shit out of things. So,
even the single player part, you have to play through 45 minutes before you can go co-op with them. So,
yeah. So I'm up to the hotel. Not to give too much away.
Nice.
So I'm working my way through the hotel right now. So
very nice.
I have a friend who's been playing that. They love it. They played through it a bunch of times already.
Oh no.
That's
Uh,
cool.
it's like the first game, but less janky. Yeah.
Cool.
How about you, Shadow?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
So I've been following. I've been trying to get through Skyward Sword HD on
Mhm.
Switch to get done before Tears falls on Friday.
Mhm.
And so I'd actually went through and beat the whole thing in like it's 40-hour ish. Never beat it before. I tried to play it on Wii way back and I could not do the motion controls. And on the Switch it's a little better because you do it with the stick.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so that was decent. I beat that. I picked
Nice.
the Final Fantasy remaster of 6, the
Yeah.
Pixel ones that just came out,
Yeah.
and that is gorgeous. If you like those old role-playing games, definitely pick it up. I think you can get them all together. I don't think there's any discount though if you do
Okay.
it. So I just got 6 because I like 6. So I'm playing
Oh,
that.
all right.
Uh, Paper Mario on N64 on Switch Online I've been playing just because I never played it before, and I figured if I'm paying for the online,
You
I might
might
as well
as
play
well.
some.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's there, so I'm playing some of that, and my son has been making me play Human Fall Flat with him,
Oh,
which
that's
is
fun. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that game. That game's a lot of fun to play with, especially with kids and stuff
yeah,
like that. So
doing a lot of co-op with that, and he's basically teaching me how to play it because he's 9 and he knows everything. But yeah, we've been playing that, and it's been goofy and fun, and sometimes it gets frustrating. I don't know
yeah.
if any
I was
listeners
gonna
have.
say that the ragdoll mechanics of that, like I just want things to go. I want to go right to the right place, climb the right cliff, and do what I need to. And it's just sometimes it just gets. It was so janky sometimes with the ragdoll effect. So
Yes, yeah. So you have to hold both triggers to hold both hands up, but if you don't do it right, you're grabbing the floor, and then you got to let go and then fall. But he thinks it's funny. So anyway, so
yeah,
that's been what I've been playing. It's been good, and I'm looking forward to Tears on Friday.
Excellent. Excellent.
How about you, Jared?
Well, as I mentioned, played some Redfall, and I do so. So we have our regular Dead Island 2 group that plays Dead Island 2, and then when Tiff ceremoniously bails out early because she likes more sleep than me, we do plan on falling back to play through the jankiness that is Redfall after that fact. So we will continue through this until we complete it or die, one or the other. So Redfall and Dead Island 2 are still on my list, and then when I have some spare time, it's always Vampire Survivors, trying to finish out the last couple achievements I don't have. And it doesn't help they keep releasing DLC for like $1 that then I get to get those achievements as well. And Fall Guys, of course, and the new season of Fall Guys comes in 2 days. So yeah.
Did
yeah.
you lose a bet on Redfall that you had to finish it, or what?
No, it's just the laughter that comes out of it about how absurd at any time that your party fast travels, that people are going to look or move when you arrive is worth the price of admission. And if you had a couple drinks or whatever else, it becomes even more hilarious. So yes, yeah.
Fair
I
enough.
will say that, and another. I've talked to a couple of guys in the different communities and stuff like that that are playing Redfall, and that they're sticking it out. And they said initially, they were like all
They're
the same
sticking
things
it
we
out
complained
for a
about.
patch.
But no, they're playing through it, and they say it is growing on them. The game storyline and everything like that is growing on them, and they're actually enjoying it a little bit. But I just can't get past that game. The beginning part of the game is just horrible to me.
Oh, it's terrible. It's literally terrible. I'm not even sure how. Like, if Phil Spencer had even played this once before it shipped, he would have been like, "Guys, maybe we gotta delay this a little bit." But no.
The trailer looks so cool, though. Like, what happened? Does it not look anything like that? I mean, I
It
know it
it,
was just
it
pre-rendered, but
it looks like that. It's just the issues are really like around the like all the co-op mechanics, and the first person shooter mechanics. To be honest, like it's like someone doesn't understand how hitboxes are supposed to work, and if like I know games have different hitboxes, but if on my screen I am zoomed in and I have like my reticle is right in the middle of their head, it should be a headshot. There should be no way. And that guy's not moving because the AI is dumb. He's just
Yeah,
sits there.
it's really
So-
like going back to like the mid to late 90s in the first person shooters where people really didn't understand the whole new generation of first person
Yep.
shooters. And they were still based on just past like the Doom and the Duke Nukem stages of the first one. And then, like there was still a lot of experimental things going on, trying different things, but they picked every bad fucking thing that happened at that point to put it into this game because it just looks like they've never worked on a game like that before. And I don't think they have. So,
no, this is their first. So
That's a shame.
no, but like I said, we'll keep muscling through and see what happens. What could go wrong? All right. On that, why don't we move on over to the new releases? And there's only one major new release out this week. And before I say the name of it, because I also pronounced this like Shadow did until yesterday. So yesterday I went to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and they had a commercial for this game as one of the trailers before the movie. And they actually called it Tears and not Tears. Okay. So the new release out this week is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which sounds so dumb.
It changes the whole idea of the concept of what I thought the game was.
Yes, that's what I thought too. Because I'm sitting in the movie theater, I'm like, what the fuck? I've been calling this Tears of the Kingdom since it was announced.
I swore that it was confirmed that it was Tears. That's why I've been calling it like that. But I mean,
that's I've called it that every time I've said the name of it until today. Because and granted, maybe whoever recorded it for we weren't at AMC, we're at like another like Lux movie chain, but whoever recorded it for Maria Menounos's pre-show credit stuff, it was Tears of the Kingdom.
I don't know if
it was in like Tears in the Kingdom, I would understand that, but of makes me think it's Tears still.
I know I'm just saying what I said, but anyway, this is the new release out for the Switch. I didn't play the last Zelda game because I don't like the Switch, and I won't play this one.
How many do you own?
And we have two Switches. Yes. Okay.
Yes,
see, first night here, and he didn't miss a beat. Yes.
It's gone. So
somebody's gonna pick up the slack. Yes. So we have two of them, and they were recently powered on after our move. Well, since last August, they were powered on to make sure that they were working, but
they go up like two levels in their updates.
Software updates. Yeah. There's lots of software updating, and then they were docked back up, and they're just waiting to be used again. But yeah, so this is not for me, but I know this is for probably both of you, or at least one of you.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Zelda series games, so yeah, I'll probably be picking this up too. So
yeah, I did the whole the new thing Nintendo has where you get a voucher if you pay $100 and you get two big games. And this was the first game that was $70. So I'm like, well, I'll just buy that, and then I can get another one for $30 and pay $30 for a $60.
Oh, that's true.
Down the road. Yeah, so unfortunately there's nothing out that I want otherwise. But you have a year to use it, so I used that, and it just downloaded, I think, Friday.
Yeah, they started the pre-downloads like a few days ago. Yeah.
So I finished my Skyward Sword, so now I've beaten every single 3D Zelda, and so I'm excited for that. I don't have Friday off. I do have the weekend, although Sunday is Mother's Day, so that's going to be a rough one.
Yeah. See, but if you let them sleep in, there's plenty of time to do other stuff. Honey, you sleep in. We'll
right. Put the kids on the TVs, and I'll go downstairs.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yep.
So I'm excited for that.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm not, but I'm not the normal person. I played every Zelda game until they got switchy. No, actually, no. There was a Zelda game on the Wii U, right? Or was there?
No.
Oh no, it was a dual release for Switch and Wii U. Yeah. So yeah, no, I played everyone up until that point, and then I bailed. So yeah.
Yeah, they
Yep.
skipped that, but they did the remasters of the previous two.
Yep.
Or they did Wind Waker and they did Twilight Princess.
Yep. Yep. So, and I know this game's going to be hugely popular. I know shitloads of people are going to play it. I know it's going to be super highly reviewed. And it's just not for me.
No worries.
Yep. All right. Well, I guess on that, why don't we hop on over into gaming news? And if you're in chat right now, which I see some people are, they've been chatting throughout the show. If you have a story you want us to discuss, drop it in chat and we will talk about it and try to work into our show, because we do have some news stories. Some may be good, some may be shitty. We may talk about them all, we may not. But if you want something else in there, give us something that we'd rather talk about. So I'll kick this off with, I might as well go to this one since we alluded to it. Phil Spencer reacts to Redfall's bad reviews and explains what went wrong. So in a nutshell, Phil Spencer has said, hey, Arcane Studios, part of Bethesda, they shot for the fences. This was their first time that they were like, yeah, we can try to do an online co-op multiplayer game. And Microsoft did not identify the problems in the game until it was too late and could not supply some assistance and help with their the issues they were having with online co-op. And I think it's obvious that would have helped. So at least Phil Spencer has owned up to the issues. He doesn't blame the studio at all. He loves the studio, still continues to have faith in Arcane because they did a great job with what was that stealthy spy?
Deathloop.
What's that?
Deathloop.
Arcane did Deathloop?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
are you talking about Dishonored?
That I was talking about Dishonored, yeah, Dishonored 1 and 2, and yes, yeah. So they've had a history of fantastic games. So it's not on them. And basically what he said is, yeah, we should have realized that they were outside of their wheelhouse. We should have given them the support they needed. We didn't, and it's on us. And he owned the failure, which I thought was. It's not like when some companies pretend that something didn't fail. He owns the failure. He owns the bad reviews. He owns that, Microsoft proper should have jumped in and done some helping out with this. So I think that's the best possible way to grab the bull by the horns. But what do you guys think?
I really interested to see where they were in the production cycle when Microsoft acquired them, and who they put as the contact point that sold Microsoft that everything's going fine on this game. Because I'm sure there's heads going to roll. And unfortunately, Phil's had a really hard time as of late, and I don't think his head's going to roll for this, but there's, the internet rumor mills is like, oh, Phil's going to get fired now. But, I think he did the right thing by stepping up, admitting the failure. Yeah. Hopefully they're taking steps to prevent this going into the future. But, somebody behind the scenes had to get freaking axed because of how this came out and rolled out. So
you would think so.
Yeah. I love Arcane. I love Dishonored. Deathloop's pretty cool, but mostly Dishonored is big for me. So I hope nothing bad happens to Arcane because of this. I'm glad that he's taking responsibility for it, because I don't want people to write them off, because otherwise they've been great in the past. So
he did the Batman games too, right?
No.
Or am I? Is it just a name?
Yeah, you're thinking Arkham Asylum.
Arkham Asylum, yeah. Okay, never mind.
That's like Rocksteady and
Deathloop was really. I thought Deathloop was a really great game. Great play on the whole Groundhog Day thing, and I really enjoyed the shit out of the time I played that game. So
yeah, Yeah, me too. I haven't finished it yet, but I did like it so far.
Nice. All right. Next story.
All right, I'll go ahead with Microsoft permanently drops the price of the Xbox Series XS storage. Seagate's 1 terabyte expansion card now starts at $150. We saw this coming as some of the prices started getting slashed, especially when they started releasing the ability to create these memory cards by other companies and stuff like that. So it's good to see that the competition's driving the price down. 150 still seems a little bit high to me, but it's probably right there where it needs to be at this point. So,
Yeah, it's still kind of high, but compared to 220, I'll take it. I recently, as I mentioned, ran out of storage, and I'm tired of deleting stuff, so I decided to buy one, and it dropped. And I thought it was just a temporary thing, dropped to 150, so I ordered it. And then this happened, and now if you go on Amazon, they're all sold out. So I don't know how long that'll be, but the listeners might want to just keep an eye on it. But I'm sure that it's probably everywhere. I don't know if it's in stores going to be dropping immediately, but at least pretty soon, I'm sure everywhere.
Yeah, I too picked one up at 150. I felt like that was a reasonable price. Yeah.
So next story, Super Mario Brothers movie grossed over 1.1 billion worldwide. Sort of
Yeah.
gamey, but
That is gamey.
yeah, I took my kids to see that and they loved it, and I'm sure they'd probably go see it again. That is an insane number.
That
and
is insane.
especially for that time frame, because when did it come out? Like 3 weeks ago?
3 or 4 weeks ago. Yeah.
4 weeks ago? So will it'll be probably the highest grossing animated film ever, I would imagine. Or what's the highest? Probably Frozen or something. But it's gonna be
That's
yeah,
crazy.
I think it'll be. I think it might win on that. But that's good for gaming movies. Obviously the old Super Mario Brothers from when we were kids.
Oh, that was so the opposite of
then
this.
either.
Yes.
But so that's this is a good way to kind of wipe that out of your memory, and this is the new Mario, so it's fun. Did you guys go see it?
I still have not seen it yet. I want to, but no. Oh, but she did come to Guardians of the Galaxy this weekend, so we got her to a movie theater. Yes, yeah,
nice.
Yes,
I did see it. They really did a spectacular job on it. I mean, it's super polished. It's it's got the little kicks for those older gamers of us that look back and say, look at that. That's kind of cool throwback for her. And they did a really good job with the characters. The acting was awesome. And all together, I thought it was a great movie. So it's surprised that it's 1.1 billion worldwide. No, I thought this, once I saw it, I was like, man, this thing's going to make a lot of money. So
well, that's a lot of money, Selden, in case you didn't know. But I'm looking on Box Office Mojo right now. So assuming we don't consider Avatar an animated movie, because it really is half animated, the highest grossing animated movie would be would be Frozen 2 with $1.453 billion, so worldwide. So we are rapidly approaching that.
That Frozen 2 movie was garbage.
Yeah. So Frozen 2 is at number 13 of the worldwide gross, and currently Super Mario Brothers movie is at 25 worldwide gross. So I think it's doable.
I think so. So yeah, there will probably be Super Mario movie every other year now. Do you think, or every 3 years? I imagine.
Yeah. Once you figure out the money printing machine, you just keep it going. Yes. But this whole thing here has made me so confused that Frozen 2 is at number 13 and Frozen is at number 19. That is such a broken thing to me. Like
Frozen probably did better on video later.
That's probably true. That people
say video.
Yeah. On VHS, it did way better. Yes. So
Laserdisc.
Hey, I had Laserdisc back in the day. I was ahead of the curve.
You-
So
You probably had 6 of them.
no, I probably had, I'd say somewhere between 90 and 200 of them. Yeah, I was anything I've invested in, I invest in a lot. Like when Tiff and I got married, before we offloaded the physical media collection, I had like 2,900 DVDs. Yeah.
You probably had a shit ton of 3D movies too, didn't you?
Wise ass.
I do. I do. But I have a projector, so I actually use them.
Yeah, now you're shitting on Shadow. See, you made a mistake, Selden. Our newest host, and you already shat on him.
You know what? That's fine because now they're like $5 and I can get it as I want.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Next story. Fall Guys level creation tools arrive on May 10th. So I briefly alluded to this earlier that the new season of Fall Guys was coming on May 10th. But the big twist here is they've also created a level editor for Fall Guys where you can create your own levels or rounds if you're in the Fall Guys parlance. And this is huge news. So the game is shipping not only with their own game, it's also shipping this next season with 50 levels that were created with this level editor. And then people are going to be able to create their own levels. You can either play in a lobby with your friends with your own handcrafted level, or you can put these out there for the public and they'll be rated and reviewed, and they'll have like a curated playlist of the best of the best that people love from the community. So for a game that was already like this hot blood viral game that everyone loves, to give it a level creator seems like a win-win for these guys. And obviously they make their money from battle passes and from people buying cosmetics. I've seen enough people wearing SpongeBob fucking outfits that you can't unlock any other way that obviously people are spending money on this game. So this is like fork knifed the 11th level. But I'm super excited for this level creator. I don't know.
I'm going to go out on a branch, and I don't think I'm wrong, but I bet you they had this level creation tool from the very beginning. And they had probably an extensive timeline of when they were going to release stuff as sales started to dip or interest started to drop. Like, because the game is not so complicated that a level editor would be that hard to throw something together and do. And you look at the levels; they look like they're made with a level creator off the bat. So
well,
I'm going to say that.
I don't know, Selden. I think you're selling these guys short. I don't doubt that they created these levels with this level creator, but I don't think it was polished enough for general consumption. Like the UI was not there for Joe controller. It was probably there for Joe mouse.
Maybe, but I don't know. It just seems like as something starts to fade, all of a sudden interest is piqued by, oh, let's release this on Xbox now. Oh,
what's fading on Fall Guys?
Interest is starting to fade a little bit. Okay, we're going to release a level editor now. So it's like,
I don't know. I think Fall Guys is as popular as ever.
I have not played it, so I don't have an opinion.
Oh, you have younger kids, Shadow. There's no excuse why you shouldn't be playing this.
Well, my kid plays what's the one with the space?
Roblox?
Among Us?
Among Us, yes.
Okay.
He plays Among Us. He plays Roblox. Roblox most of the time. Roblox is just everything. It's just it could be anything.
Yeah.
Fall Guys is in Roblox.
Is it? Maybe he has played it then.
No. So, yeah. But I'm excited for this. Like, I cannot wait for the 10th. Just saying.
Awesome. That's your Zelda.
Yeah, exactly. See, I could put 100 hours into that. Easy. All right, next story.
We're going to jump over to the other story about 1 billion in sales. Hogwarts Legacy has now surpassed $1 billion in sales. And a massive new patch adds arachnophobia mode and 500 plus fixes. So it's arachnophobia mode it's kind of interesting because Shrunken, not Shrunken. What was the other game?
The garden
Something
game.
else.
yard. It's
Like they have a
Grounded.
huge grounded. Yes, thank
yes.
you. They have a huge arachnophobia mode too. That it takes the spider out of the game and makes it basically a blob type of thing.
What
So
kind of pussies for right, I'm gonna take this back and be controversial. Like, I understand that people have arachnophobia, but like, I also am afraid of like serial killers. But I play games with serial killers in them. Like, this is kind of a pussy mode, right?
like I get jump scared by zombies jumping out in Dead Island. Maybe
Yes.
they should take zombies out of the game.
Give it an anti-zombie mode. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not afraid of that at all. But my wife is. But I mean, zombies, you're playing the game for zombies. Harry Potter, you're playing the game for Harry Potter, and there just happens to be spiders in some spots. So I kind of get it. But yeah, I mean, it's not gonna bother me. But hey, if the mode's there, it's just like colorblind mode. I'm never gonna use it. But if it's there, that's nice for those people.
So now we're considering this an accessibility mode.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. That's what it is.
Oh, nice.
What else would it be?
Yeah.
Like, if you're scared of this, here you go. Change it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But but just to jump back to the story, though, I guess all the protests and hatred for Rollins that erupted at the beginning of when this game was coming out. Apparently,
Rowling?
yeah.
Rollins is the baseball company. Yes.
Yeah.
Rawlings.
But apparently, all the protests and hate for her hasn't really had an effect, and that's good because all the people that put this game together, all the actors, all the programmers, the developers, and everybody that put their heart and soul into this game, thank God it did well for them. So
yeah, they're not bigots. Hell, there's a trans character in the first 35 minutes of the game. I bought this game day one. Tiff played through the whole thing. It's too bad that the 500 fixes are coming well after she completed the game, but yeah.
Yeah, I also completed it. 100%, 1,000 out of 1,000 on Xbox.
Nice.
It was great. And I didn't have any problems really. So I don't know I mean, I saw the list of fixes. It's a lengthy one, but I didn't even have issues. So I'm glad that they're fixing it. But otherwise, it was pretty well done. I mean, it's not. I don't want to get into the whole thing, but it's the people that made the game. They're the support them.
Yeah.
Don't support whoever else. But they already made their money. So who cares?
Yeah.
Just worry about the people that made the game, and I'm glad they're getting recognition for it.
No, exactly. They paid J.K. Rowling for the license a long time ago. Her money is not contingent on sales of the game or anything else, and these guys are making their paycheck on it. So throw them some shekels and separate the game from the artist. And I feel like at this point, Harry Potter has taken a life of its own after what she did. Like, there's already people that have complained about how she ruined the story. Like, people always thought that Harry Potter should end up with Hermione and this and that and the other thing. She already made tons of wrong decisions in her art, so fuck her, right?
Yeah, fuck her.
Yeah. All right, next story.
Xbox app for PC now lets you find games based upon accessibility features and estimated playtimes. We talked about accessibility just a moment ago, which I think is a good thing that they're doing that. Playtimes is also very important for me because I'm old and I don't have a lot of time as I used to have. And I have kids, so I'd like to be able to look up how long this game's going to take before I start it. It says that they've fine-tuned its discovery features where you can search for the stuff. So you can filter it and it's using the how long to beat integration, which is that you can it's user based, so people put in how long it took them to beat, and then it just kind of amalgamates it together, and you can figure, okay, it's probably about this. True Achievements also uses that sort of thing too, as well, I believe. But for me, that's great. I hate to start a game and then know that it's I started it and I want to finish it, but it's going to be 150 hours. Well, I have this unfinished game sitting there with some achievements. I hate that. I hate it. Yeah. And I can't always finish everything. So if I go, okay, that's a 20-hour game, no problem. I can knock that out in a week and, play 3 hours a night and it's done. And, that's important to me. So I think that's a good thing. What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, I that how long to beat is a great site. And it even has a level of granularity below, like how long did it take me, but it's like I'm the kind of guy that does every side quest, or I'm the guy that, just bangs through and skips everything. And so you can look at those different levels of how long it takes, like, because there really is a difference in a lot of these games of like, yeah, I did the main storyline, it took 6 hours, or I did everything else and it took 20 hours. And there's a major difference between those two. So searching that way is super useful for picking up something that you're like, well, my usual gaming crew that I do my multiplayer game with every week is, they're gone this week and next week. So I have 2 weeks of gaming nights, and I play 3 or 5 or whatever hours a night. And you can kind of figure out a game that you can fill to fit in that void. So I think that's huge. And I do think that being able to search for games for accessibility reasons is phenomenal. Like for the longest time, the gaming community looked over and didn't see folks with various needs and disabilities that that other folks, the people that were creating the games, didn't have. And I feel like nowadays there's this visibility into what other people need, and for these folks to be able to come in and be like, listen, I'm blind and I want to play a game that does this, this, and this. Or, I'm hearing impaired and I can't hear, but I can see, and I want a game that does this, this, and this. And I think that's fantastic. And especially with the adaptive controller and everything else, and games that support that. And I think this is just good shit all around from Microsoft. So,
Yeah, I mean, getting games into more hands, players, lives, is really the key to this. I mean, the more people we get in gaming, the more enjoyability we'll have, the more, branching of different types of games that we'll have, different genres and stuff like that. And, just anything that's going to help promote this is definitely something, to get gaming out there and work with people and let them know what to expect. I'm all for it. So good for them.
Yeah, and like I mentioned earlier, red, green, or red, blue, or red, green colorblind. Is that what it is? My friend had that, and he started to play a game, and he didn't realize that he wasn't seeing certain things in the game, and he didn't know why he kept dying and things like that. And it's great that they had those modes, and to be able to search for that and figure, okay, well, this game's going to fit my abilities, and only play those games. And then you're not out money. You bought a game, and now you can't play it, and I think that's really great.
oh, absolutely. Yeah, most definitely. All right. Next story. Riot Games paying over 1,500 women as part of a gender discrimination settlement. So this is not the first time that we've had Riot Games in the news, and it's not the first time they've been paying people money. What is good about this is the comeuppance of holding these companies accountable. I know where I work, which I won't mention, there's all kinds of checks and balances in play for, the gender and racial and everything else makeup of a team, who you're giving raises to during a review period. And people look back on this and they say, okay, no, this doesn't fit right. This doesn't fit in the MRR range for this job, and this and then the other thing. But obviously Riot existed, as we've said many times, in this frat boy bro culture that seems to be finally catching up with them. And it's good to see that there's some accountability for discrimination that they've done in the past. So I'm all for this, and I think that by making an example of some companies, you can have other companies that are maybe smaller or not under the radar make these changes on their own in order to avoid something like this. So I think the positivity of different cases like this really has a trickle down effect in the gaming industry. So kudos to whoever pushed this through and whoever put Riot on the chopping block. So
I mean, the good thing is that this is now setting a precedent in the courts that, hey, look, compensation is due to those employees, contractors, whoever. If you've, sexually harassed or, didn't give the promotion or didn't have disparity of pay, if, it's setting a precedent. So going forward, any of these issues that arise that have happened in the past, happening now, or happen in the future, that at least there's an avenue for these people to go and say, hey, look, we have a set standard that's already been established. We should, follow through with this. And, I think this is going to keep everybody on the level now. So it's like nothing but good I could come out of that. So.
Yep. And game creation skills aren't exclusive to these particular companies that are doing the bad. So, if they get this comeuppance, hopefully, like you said, it will bring up these smaller companies that are doing it right. And those people that are working at the worst companies will move to there and come up through that company. And I mean, I think it's nothing but good. It's not, they get punished and then possibly newer companies come up that are even better. So it's not, I think people worried about bigger companies dying and, I'll be out my games or they're going to go up. No, it's going to drive innovation in other places and other companies. And I think it's only good.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. All right. Next story.
All right, we'll jump right onto this one. Rumor: Sony signed a deal with Konami for Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill, and Castlevania for exclusivity. Came out that Sony has, even though they, on one side of the phase are talking how exclusivities of Microsoft and the Activision Blizzard deal is going to be bad, they, go out the back door and sign a deal supposedly with Konami for some of the classic games in gaming history. Just it's double talk to the finest. So.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you say about it really. It's just who can drive this through to the people who are making these decisions in, for instance, the UK. Hey, look at this. Why is this okay? And why is this not okay?
It's always been this way though. There was times where like Sony, like Call of Duty was coming out on all the platforms, but Sony was like PlayStation, the exclusive home of Call of Duty, because they had all that special content that would be like exclusive for a year and this and that. And then as soon as like the tables were turned, they're like, oh no, this is bad. Like we need to stop this. And then they're like, oh, but by the way, we got this and this and this and this, and they're all exclusives. So yeah. And I am a PlayStation owner. I'm not just like bashing on Sony. I also have a PSVR 2, which is like no one fucking has. So I've invested in Sony. So yes.
I mean, I just find it funny. I'm like, just on the heels, just on the heels of the decision by the UK of stopping the merger, and granted, their reason for stopping the merger was not Call of Duty exclusivity or any of that reasons. They came up with some other obscure
the
reason
cloud
why.
Thing. Yeah,
the cloud thing. But it's just like as soon as that's closed, all of a sudden these rumors start popping up. And it's like Sony's been one of the biggest exclusivity players that you've seen in any video game history. I'm like, outside of Nintendo, like but they're all theirs are first party games.
They're first party. Yeah, it doesn't count.
All right.
That's different.
Sony's just signing things all over the place. They always have. I mean, like as you said, with Call of Duty, with Halo, with not Halo, but Destiny, they had the exclusivity of like you could only get this weapon, you could only get this raid, on Sony. Yeah. So
I went a whole year without a Gjallarhorn. Fuck that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just find it just very hypocritical of them to keep going with this.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of the Switch exclusivity, a lot of it is just because, and even if it's not at first party, it's because in Japan Switch is king even more than the PlayStation. So some of those games they just don't care to make for Xbox because they don't have them. Yep. So what's the point? And a lot of that's getting pushed back from Xbox recently. Like you're not you're not trying at all to get to us. We would carry these if you made them, but is it really fair that you're not even trying to do that? I don't know. It's a whole other discussion, but yeah, Sony's. I also have a PS5. I have every system, so I'm not a fanboy really of anything. And lately, I've honestly been playing Switch more often, just because that's where the games I'm playing are. But I don't really care where things come out necessarily. I just think that exclusivity in general stifles everything.
Yep,
I mean,
I agree.
if you can't get through on oh, my system's better because of X, because of other reasons, and it's only because we signed this deal for this game and you can only get it here, then are you really better, or you're just better at making a deal? I don't know.
Yep. No, I absolutely agree. Good point. Yep. Yeah.
And this will roll right into the next story. The PS5 showcase coming soon. Reports say a PlayStation showcase could take place the week of May 25th. This is where we'll see exactly what their deals are. Probably this is where they'll announce if there is actually a deal with Metal Gear Solid, Castlevania, and all those titles, along with Konami. So it'll be interesting to see how they come out, how they play themselves, especially with the post UK decision, and see if they start driving home more of the exclusivities that PlayStation has, and that you can play all games there and everything like that. So we'll see.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this and to all these. So
Yeah, I love game showcases. I really do. I mean, I just love seeing the games that are coming, even though most of them are, rendered and stuff like that. That isn't what the final product is. I just love seeing the new games that are coming down the pipe. So it'll be interesting and it'll be exciting.
as someone that's been to plenty of E3s, that's literally it's like the show floor is the least part of E3. It's all of these showcase events where you go through, and then it's Packers Party. But like, and Packers Party is like you're chilling up here like God tier, and then all of the showcases are here, and then everything else is below that. But yeah, I love going to these things. The crowd goes nuts for even like all rendered trailers. Like there could be no gameplay, no actual in-game footage, but the crowd goes nuts, and it's just infectious. So yeah.
I had a sort of an option to go to E3 back in like 2009 because I was working on something that had to do with games, and I might have been able to get a pass, and I couldn't go. And now I'm sad because now it's pretty much no more, and I never got to go. And I didn't get to go to Packers parties.
I would never be allowed into a Packers party.
You're too cool for that.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, no, I felt bad for Packer this year because they canceled so late. It was just so wrong. And he can't be the only one that had committed to one of these things. So you figure if he lost 25 grand on a deposit, there had to be hundreds of companies, because there's parties everywhere. They're not all as huge as his, but there had to be hundreds of companies that had to commit to throwing a party, renting out a bar, holding some venue, and all lost it because it was canceled within an absurd amount of time of the event. But
well, there's always PAX.
Yeah,
no PAX.
PAX
no
West Coast. I think PAX West Coast announced the date.
It's always the same date. They're always the Memorial Day, the Labor Day weekend. So, and they do that 4-day event. So, but they
about that.
They did announce it, but it was no surprise. It's not like PAX East that can be anywhere from February when you're fucking freezing your balls off to May when it's nice out. So
who thought of that? PAX East, East Coast, so cold in February.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Nonetheless, in New England, in Boston.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's what I think of when I think of East.
I'm like, you had plenty of options a little further south. New York City, Philadelphia.
Yeah. Now this year, PAX East was nice weather. So it was late March. Yeah, it was beautiful, but it could have been just as easily terrible. So.
Yeah, it's been weird this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next story?
Yeah, so Shadow, I know in the Discord channel you put up some kind of timeline today of like all kinds of different announcements and everything. One of the next stories we had was also that Microsoft's Xbox Game Showcase is being announced. It looks like it's going to be around June 11th, and that will be followed up, I believe, by the Starfield show as well. So the Starfield Direct, yes, is coming right after that Xbox Showcase. So that's another one that put on the calendar and keep an eye on as we look forward to seeing what else Microsoft has got coming this summer and the following years. So
Yeah, a lot of stuff coming up this year, always, but
Yeah.
it's cool to see.
No, it seems like they're all coming fast and furious.
Yeah, once you hit June, it's just crazy at the end of the year.
It's usually when it's the slow news time, but it's the fast news time but it's news that everyone already knows because they went to all these live streams or watched whatever, and you're like, oh yeah, we talked about this. But so
yeah, like I wonder if Microsoft had two showcases lined up, one with Activision Blizzard and one with only a slight reference to Activision Blizzard based on the outcomes of the cases. I mean, because that could completely change what the showcase is. So
yeah, that's very true. I never thought of that.
like, do they go full bore straight ahead with the whole Activision Blizzard merger because they're appealing the UK's decision and waiting on the FTC and the European Union, or do they hold back a little bit? What do you think?
I think they got to hold back.
Yeah, you can't whip your balls out in the middle of that conference room like
no, that's going to age badly.
Yeah,
that's going to be clips for years. Like, remember when this about Activision and that didn't happen?
Yeah, no, they gotta pull things back and just wait until things are finalized. But
hey, next story. Fortnite. Fortnite is now officially an Olympic esport. I don't play Fortnite, but I'm gonna read this because I'm the next person. So does anybody play Fortnite?
I actually do play Fortnite. I've been away from it for a little while since I've been sucked into Call of Duty DMZ, but this is a weird take on where it's going, I guess. But an Olympic esport, I don't know.
There could be worse games.
That's true.
What else are esports right now for Olympics? Is there?
I think this is the first one, right? I'm not sure there's any others. So I guess there could be a worse choice, but like this seems like a pretty wholesome choice. It's not like a blood and guts shooter. Like it appeals to audiences that are wimps. It's family friendly. It's Shadow's smiling, which means I'm saying something wrong.
You're just trying to think of stuff. It's like, well, it's
like I could see some outside thing coming in and saying, "Hey, alongside of the Olympics, we're going to do this, esport thing and showcase it." But for the International Olympic Committee to bring esports and based on Fortnite into it, I'm like, I don't know.
There could be worse games.
Yeah.
Fortnite's all about costumes and buying and microtransactions, really, right? That's kind of what. I don't know, like, is it going to be building? Because didn't they take build mode away? And people like that. So is it like
people like that better? Apparently.
Yeah, and so it's not Fortnite anymore, right? Because Forts was the building part. So now it's just.
I guess Well, you've really broken that down. Like that was I didn't ever put that 2 and 2 together. Yeah, I guess Fortnite was the building of the forts, and so when they went no build mode, it was just night.
Well, it used to be the forts against each other, and then they changed it, and then actually make money.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was reading through the article a little bit, and Fortnite isn't the only one. It looks like it's being considered. It looks like there's a whole esports series, mostly Olympic regular style fare, but digital, virtual sports. Like if I guess Zwift is a cycling program game that they're bringing in as an alternate to actual cycling. Chess.com is bringing in chess. Just Dance is also being brought in for the dancing section.
Okay, Just Dance, you mean that only checks one hand? Like, why don't you bring in like some Connect fucking game? Like, at least that's a real dancing.
Well, Just Dance, I'm like, once again, this goes with a lot of the gymnastic floor exercises. They're based on judges, based on your movement. So I can see as long as you're hitting your marks, but you're also putting a lot of flair into it as you're dancing, you're getting judged on it, maybe. Who knows?
Okay, this has become real shitty real fast.
I mean, chess.com, really? You know, there's actual real chess. You could just play chess.
Yeah.
That probably is an Olympic sport.
I would think so. It's probably put up every year. It's like, we would like chess to be in this year. They're like, no. But chess.com has this shit. Believe me, that shit blows chess away.
No chess this year, but we had a DDR. So
now, if it's battle chess, I can get behind that.
Yeah. Or Archon back in the day, for any of you Archon fans. That was a chess game back in the PC era where each piece had their own kind of cool thing they could do, and you did a fight, and then someone won. It wasn't necessarily the person that should have got the spot. So, yeah.
Was that like Commodore 64? Or
It's, Atari, Apple IIe, Commodore 64, that whole generation. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Did you get dysentery? No, that was already.
No, that. Oh, yeah, that's fucked up. So. All right, last story. Gamers are using a secret online level to dodge Russian censorship and share news about the war in Ukraine. So this is a carefully crafted CSGO level that basically exists as a chat room for people to share news. And so you spawn into the game, they go find this room, and then they can use it for alternative purposes. So this is what we call, being forward thinking, thinking outside the box, and kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, this is probably exactly what Russia doesn't want to happen.
Yeah.
Doesn't want the outside news media or actual other news stories getting into the Russian people. And for the fact that they've found this little niche, I'm sure it'll be shut down or it'll just respawn, hopefully, in a different area and everything like that. So, this is just where the modern world is going. Like, you can shut off, certain news feeds. You can shut off Twitter to your country. But if people can figure out how to game together, they can always find a little secret corner in some kind of game to, trade those secrets. So,
yeah, and VPNs exist.
Yeah, that's true too.
I've heard of this in the past, other games too, that this has happened. So that's cool. It's kind of like I think it was something like a Sims or something. People were going in to just hang out, and then they were talking that way because they couldn't talk in.
Nice. Yeah, because you're censored everywhere else, so you go to the place where they least expect it. So
because they don't know, because they're all old.
Yeah.
Like us, but we do know.
But we actually play games. They're sitting in the Kremlin being like, we're fucking old and douchey. Yeah. We're calling on you, Kremlin. Bring it.
No, we're not.
Still got game calls you out. Yes. All right. Well, that wraps up our news. So if any of news stories you want to talk about us to talk about next week, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com or comment on this episode thread on the Tool to Play homepage. And sponsors! If we had them, we'd pimp them, but we don't, so we won't. Trademark. But if you'd like sponsors, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@toolplay.com. You tell us what you're selling, what they're going to pay us. We'll sell it. You pay us. Boom. Done. Twitter us up. You can find everything Toolplayer at twitter.com/tooltoplay. Everything podcast related at twitter.com/still_got_game. Facebook the fuck out of us, facebook.com/tooltoplay. We have a heavy Facebook presence, so please go and follow us there. We have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/tooltoplay. This is the DVR of, or the on-demand of Tool to Play content. So follow our YouTube channel, youtube.com/tiltplay. You can get every episode of this show, every episode of Hits Quick Hits, every episode of Tiff's Immature Interviews. Selden had this little brief, short-lived cam show before the authorities got involved, but those episodes are still there on our YouTube channel. So everything is there. So go there, follow us. And that's one of the many places we also broadcast live each week. So youtube.com/tooltoplay. Please rate and review the podcast on iTunes. Give us 5 stars. And if you got a couple more seconds, write a nice review to go with it. Hey, gods. Hey, we enjoyed Shadow. Whatever you want to write, it doesn't matter. But just write something to go along with it, because reviews that have text are weighted more than reviews that are just stars, because any bot can fill in stars. We have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/still_got_game. This is the channel we created because we could not multi-stream on Tool to Play because it was a monetized channel. So we're looking to build up our follower count here. And we also broadcast live here each week. So twitch.tv/still_got_game. Go there, follow us, and support us there. And it would mean a lot to us. We have a Discord channel. That is discord.me/stillgotgame. That is discord.me/stillgotgame. No spaces, all lowercase. You can go there, join our Discord, and we are all there to chat with you all the time. Shadow was a huge presence on our Discord before coming on as a guest host tonight. Chatted with the other fans of the show as well as hosts of the show all the time. So definitely get in there, get involved, get in the discussion, and if nothing else, Selden will answer you, because he doesn't like to see an unanswered message on the Discord.
Can't leave it just hanging there.
So thank God for that guy, because I'm fucking at work. I can't deal with this shit. Shadow commented on 20 things while I was in the middle of a meeting today. And I was like, oh, I wish I could deal with that, but I can't. Sorry, man. So yeah, definitely discord.me/stillgotgame. So Selden, before we wrap up, do you have anything you want to pimp for yourself tonight?
You can follow me on my socials. You can find all of the links to my socials on Linktree/Selden007. Then there you can find all my Instagrams, Facebooks, Twitters, Twitch, whatever. That's in there. And other than that, just don't forget that if you're listening to this podcast when it drops, this week is Mother's Day. Even if you don't listen to it, just don't forget
the rare Mother's Day shout out.
Yeah. Love your mothers.
Oh, is that supposed to be a Mark Wahlberg thing?
I have no idea. But that's all I got for this week. What about you, Shadow? What do you got? You want to pimp anything?
Sure. So I won't pimp my any socials right now because I'm not officially with the crew yet. But I always want to pimp out Extra Life for charities. They're always accepting donations. It's usually in November. Find somebody you know, or even if you don't know them, go online. There's people looking for donations for that, and it's a 24-hour marathon of gaming, and it goes to kids in hospitals. It's just great. So definitely Extra Life. Anytime you can, donate to them.
Nice. That's a bona fide shout out. Yes,
we should put a little bit of planning into having a Still Got Game 24-hour marathon.
we should. Yes,
we should.
I think of this every year, and then I'm like, who the fuck is going to do this with me? So now we might have the crew.
Yeah, I think we could. I think we could pull it off.
Yeah, who knows?
IP.
All right. Well, all of my stuff, as I've mentioned many times before, if you go to Discord, not Discord. If you go to Linktree/Derek Nolan, that's linktr.ee/Derek Nolan. Not only will you find all of my socials, but you will also find all of the show's socials, which I talked about not 4 minutes ago. I pimped them all. I made funny comments about Selden's cam show. You were like, he had a cam show? But all of those links are right there on my Linktree. So if you go there, linktr.ee/Derek Nolan, you can follow any of my shit as well as all of the show stuff. So And before we wrap up tonight, I want to remind you all you can join us each and every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific at youtube.com/tool2play, facebook.com/tool2play, and twitch.tv/still_got_game. And on that, why don't we wrap up this, hey, there's Shadow episode up. I'm Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I am Chris Selden, 007 Selden.
I'm Brian Shadow Emmerich.
Times are a changing.